Welcome to Forbes India presents Business Lodestones, where we spotlight leaders driving impact. Today, we focus on ZS, a global consulting and technology firm transforming businesses with data, science, and innovation. Joining us is Mohit, ZS's regional managing principal for India, who has been instrumental in scaling operations and pioneering AI-driven solutions. Let's dive into his journey. Welcome to the show, Mohit. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Now, Mohit, you've played a pivotal role in expanding the footprint of ZS in India. So tell us about your journey and what were the key strategies that helped with this expansion of over 9,000 members across 6 offices.
Yeah, a great question. Very frankly, it's been amazing. Okay, and when I joined ZS, we were about 50 people back in 2007. And the journey to now be part of an amazing 9,000 people strong team, it's been an amazing journey. Journey has been full of learning, serving many clients in a variety of ways, and more importantly, making friends and bonds with these 9,000 people. It's been an amazing journey for me personally. ZS globally, we are about 40 years old now as an organization, and we've come a long way. We are a 13,000 people company globally, spread across 36 different offices. India is a pivotal part of that ZS ecosystem. We have 6 offices in India. And to your question around what are some of the strategic elements, I want to say those are some foundation elements for us that has really helped us sustainably scale ourselves. And those elements really are keeping the one firm culture. Okay. Traditionally, we will see organizations having a back office or a traditional offshore center, but we were very thoughtful and strategic about this idea of keeping a one firm approach across the globe. The second really is to be focused on making client impact and leading with expertise. Again, this was a unique idea that we thought that we don't want to just be the ones who would conduct operations, but we wanted to sort of lead with expertise and call ourselves an expertise center. And then last but not the least, hire and retain high quality talent. Those have been the 3 strategic elements that have allowed us to continue to make the impact that we are making. And again, proud to really look at where this journey takes us forward.
Well, that's interesting. But, most of the time, success comes at a cost. I'm sure you must have also faced a lot of hurdles. So do you want to share some of the biggest challenges that you faced in your journey and how did you navigate them?
Yeah. Interesting. No journey can be traveled without any challenges. So certainly there have been many challenges. Changes are coming. Many things are changing and will continue to change. However, one thing that has stayed constant with us at ZS has been our values. Okay, and there are 3 values: treat people right, do the right thing, and get it right. And that has been the strong foundation of everything who we are, even though the world around us continues to change. Now, to your question around what has been the challenge, this has been a challenge as well, is that when we continue to grow at the fast pace that we have grown, how do we ensure that we stay true to our values? And that's where we've spent a ton of energy in making sure that when we hire individuals into the firm, we're not only looking for hard skills, but we're also looking for a culture fit, because each individual play a part in continuing the culture and evolving the culture. Second, any time that we have seen any digression from values, we've been very sincere in dealing with it. I think the third thing that we've also tried very, very thoughtfully is to make sure that the culture is not only a responsibility of an individual, but it's a responsibility of everybody. So any leader at ZS is not just seen in a light of a business leader, but they're also seen in the light of stewards of the culture. And that's something that is very ingrained in all the people who are leading different aspects of ZS. So this, in my mind, has been a challenge and will continue to remain a challenge. But as I said, the focus on the values is what keeps us on the course that we are on.
Well, and another thing, ZS is also known for its innovation. So how do you foster innovation each and every time for all your client delivery?
Yeah. I don't think that we can live without it, very frankly. I think the pace at which data, the pace at which technology is evolving, the industry is evolving, it is critical for any organization and so for us to continue to innovate and sometimes cannibalize ourselves. And so the way we really go about it, I think it's really rooted in our operating model. Okay. Interestingly, the way we have structured ourselves is that about 65 to 70% of our people are part of what we call a client space, meaning they have the continuity with the client, they understand the client business and the client industry very well. Then there are about 30 to 35% of our people who are part of what we call a practice team. And their remit is to be the best in class in terms of the issue area that they are developing the expertise. Now, if you think about it, 2/3 of the company focusing on the client continuity, 1/3 of the company is focused on being the best in whatever they do. And when we work with our clients, we bring the two together. And that has really been the magic of keeping the innovation and client centricity together as we operate.
Now let's talk about AI, the hot topic that everyone's been discussing, how AI is changing healthcare sector overall, and what are some of the breakthroughs that you've seen?
No, absolutely. I think, before I talk about the AI, let me also share a little bit about how healthcare as an industry is evolving. Um, for many years, we've seen the therapies, those were relatively simpler in nature, but now with oncology and rare disease, you're seeing the therapies becoming very complex. The second is data and analytics was always seen as an enabler in healthcare, but that is now turning to be a driver. And so it's not just about the pill, but it's also about how organizations are using the insights from data and analytics and approaching their go-to-market. The third is earlier there were regional strategies from the organizations, right? So they would think about a country and go about how to solve for that. But more and more organizations are seeing global as their remit. So as you could see, that healthcare is transforming quite dramatically and data and analytics is playing an important role, becoming a driver. And that's the great news from an AI perspective. Healthcare as an industry is very ripe to really leverage AI and make a big impact. Now, if you also think about in healthcare, what really is important is the patient, right? And if you keep the patient in the center, what becomes important is we are able to diagnose the problem at the right time. We are able to develop the right drugs at the right time. And then we are able to diagnose, give the right drug at the right time to the right patient. So there are so many rights in healthcare. And that's where AI is making the biggest impact, because AI is able to swift through a lot of data that is coming through a very high velocity and is able to then help bring the right drug at the right time for the right patient.
Well, very interesting. And we also know that ZS also engages with GCC. So tell us something more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very excited about 3 Gs, okay? Gen AI, we already talked about it a little bit. Second is Gen Z, the talent. And the third is GCC. So GCCs are the global capability centers. Many of the organizations are really looking to harness the power of talent, data, and analytics and creating their own capability center. And we are very excited to partner with these GCCs and really help them set themselves up for future. Okay. So how do we help our GCC clients? Are in 3 ways, right? The first, really the broad question that many of the organizations have is how to really set it up in a way that they are able to expedite the time to value. Okay. So we help in terms of looking at what could be the strategic ways and to go about it. What is the business case? What is the roadmap that we can really help our organizations set their capability center in the right way? That's number one. Number two is, as the name suggests, Global Capability Center. The idea is to set up a capability. And the capability includes people, process, tools. And that's again an area where ZS helps the GCC clients in terms of setting up the technology capability and the process capability for the future. That's where a lot of our AI-powered tools like Zaden and Max come into play to help these organizations. And the third one, which is also equally critical, is that these organizations are looking to set up the capabilities, but on day one, they may not have all the necessary ingredients. And so we are able to engage with them in what we call a BOT approach, which is a build, operate, transfer approach. So we can help build things for them, operate it for a while, and then transition it effectively for them to continue to self-serve. So these are the variety of ways in which we are engaging with GCCs. And as I said, this is one of the 3 Gs that we are super excited about and looking forward to continue to support our GCC clients in this journey.
So, Mohit, what excites you the most about AI, analytics, and technology?
Yeah. See, the interesting part is that these AI, analytics, and technology are not 3 different things anymore. So that's the first reason of my excitement is that all 3 are coming together to make any big client impact. And we as an organization are really adept at all the 3. So that's another big reason of excitement is that when they are coming together, we are in a unique position to be the partners for our clients and bringing AI to the fore. Look, for many years, AI was really a concept, what we noticed in the sci-fi movies and so on. But it's amazing that it is in the hands of consumers. You and I are using AI on an everyday basis. And what has that led to is the increase of the number of use cases, literally by hour. That excites me because AI is now able to not just think about the problems that we were solving earlier, but in fact, it is coming up with new problems that we had never thought about. That excites me.
Tell us about one project that you're personally very interested about.
There are many projects, but let me pick one where, as part of our CSR efforts, we work with many NGOs, but one particular project that I'm really excited about and really passionate about that I would like to share with you is where we partnered with an organization called SRH. They are based in Gujarat. And the project that they were looking to really solve for was anemia mitigation or anemia eradication. And they approached us, and the idea was, okay, ZS, you guys are great in data and analytics and AI. How can you help us really in this project, expanding the reach of the number of patients that we are going after, and also really making a more deep impact and improving the anemia situation? And we've had, I think we've been partnered with them for the last, I want to say about 18 odd months, and the impact has been phenomenal. Now, in this situation, what was really happening was that there are a set of tribal villages where very high prevalence of anemia, and they are really oblivious to the whole thing. They only realize it when an expecting mother or an infant child is having a health problem. So the question for us was, how do we go ahead and identify who are the right patient segments to go after and make the right impact? And that's where data and analytics came into play. We were able to figure it out that really what the parents and everybody or the community was okay with was to have their children get tested for it. They themselves were not very confident, but they were okay for their children to get tested. And second, we were able to also figure out was that schools are really a good place where students are spending almost 6 to 7 hours on a daily basis. So it was easy access, and it was a very targeted segment that we could go after. Now, when I'm telling you the answer, it looks very obvious, but this wasn't obvious when we had 150,000 patients' data. But the data and the analysis was able to help us zero down on where the opportunity is. And so that's where we worked. And good news is that in the last 9 to 10 months, we've been able to really impact 40% of those students to be now non-anemic. And not just that, their hemoglobin levels have actually improved by 20%. Now, that's really driving impact where it matters and driving outcomes for all. So that summarizes what really is ZS all about. And this is one interesting project that I'm super excited about, and we are continuing to partner with them as we go abroad.
Well, great work you're doing, and we can also see that excitement in your face right now. Now, another thing that we found out when we were researching about ZS was the quality of people and the passion that they have working in the firm. So, what is the magic behind that?
What is the magic? So the people and the passion is the magic, really. Now, the how we are able to keep the magic sauce is an interesting question. And really, I think the way we think about it, the magic there is to really look at the relationship between what we are all set out to do. Okay, the the organization is all about driving sustained client impact. Now, in order to make that client impact, what you need is a high quality talent. And in order for you to retain the high quality talent, you need to be able to drive growth, because high quality talent is looking for vertical growth or horizontal growth. And so in order to retain the high quality talent, you need growth. And where will the growth come from? When you make sustained client impact. So you see the relationship between the three, and I believe that's the magic. That's the equilibrium that we are always continuing in the pursuit of balancing, is to continue to make the client impact through the high quality talent and drive growth. That's really is the magic in which we are able to really have the high quality talent stay with us, nurture with us, grow with us. The passion, we talked about the passion. I think the passion really comes from the purpose that is captured in our vision. The vision of the company really is that we partner with companies to improve lives and the way we live it. And now, if you think about it, we are doing it to drive outcomes for all. And those are the statements that really become the passion for each individual at ZS, because at the end of the day, anything using AI or technology or all the work that we are doing is in the pursuit of improving lives for the larger population in this world, and to be able to then be very proud of the work that we are doing. So that really is the magic of the passion and the quality of our people that we are able to then continue to pursue. But that's something, to be very frank, is always top of our mind on how we continue to drive this equilibrium in order to stay at the cutting edge of this industry.
And well, one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to join your team.
I would love for people to come join ZS and enjoy the family that we have. Um, it's a it's a very well kept secret, very frankly, and you understand it only when you join and when you embrace it. But I think what I would say is that for those people who are looking to really work at the intersection of analytics and technology, right? As I just talked about, the combination of the two. So for the people who are really looking to work at the intersection of the two, ZS is the company. If you're really about working in a team, ZS is the company. If you are really about working with intensity and embracing early responsibilities, ZS is the company. And if you have all of it, some of it, welcome to join the family and enjoy the great future that we will have together.
Great. And before we end this conversation, looking ahead, what are your plans for the future, when it comes to business growth of ZS?
Yeah. So for the business growth, look, there are two aspects for us. One is to be the end-to-end service provider for the life sciences industry. Today, we do provide services, but not end-to-end completely, or to not all the stakeholders. That's something we want to be fully complete. We work with one key stakeholder, which is pharmaceuticals, and we are continuing to make progress towards payers and providers, but we would love to then go completely end to end and serve the life sciences industry and be the catalyst that really help transform the way the healthcare industry operates. That's one. Second is that in order for us to do this well, we cannot just only be focused on healthcare, and hence the another growth vector for us to be able to then tap into newer industries where our expertise is equally valuable. Okay. And so we are looking at the industries like transportation, hospitality, high-tech manufacturing, and large-scale tech organizations where the same data and analytics and AI have equal relevance. And so those are really the two growth vectors where we are looking to grow our business, being end-to-end in healthcare and really drive the innovation in AI and tech in the non-healthcare sector, the sectors that I mentioned earlier.
Well, all the best, Mohit, for all your future endeavors, and it was pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
For over 40 years, ZS has been reshaping industries from healthcare to technology, driving innovation and better outcomes. With AI-powered solutions and business transformation, Mohit and ZS remain at the forefront of impact. So that's all we have for today in this episode. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories. Until next time.